is your role in Living Royalty with BSA?
You know, that's a good question. I really don't know. They called me here to do a role that I don't even know what it is. I was a model coordinator before. I was a creative director. I'm not that no more. So what am I? I don't know. They still ain't gave me no role. So Will, Barry, still not hearing nothing. Don't know what I am. The show is what, in a month or so? And I'm just here straggling. Done missed the practices. Didn't know when the practices was. Didn't know when the photo shoot was. So why the hell am I here, really? And I still ain't got no answer. All right, that's cool. You know what? I'm just gonna exit until y'all figure it out.
2.
I got loyalty inside my DNA.
So B, happy to have you back.
Thank you.
So what is your role?
Well, now that I know, my role is the creative liaison of the show.
So my name Flyers TV, also known as Flyers Comedy. I'm known for posting comedy skits, doing IRL things on multiple social media platforms.
I've been with Living Royalty for quite some time, and I've held multiple roles throughout my time with Living Royalty. So with that being said, with it being its 10th show now, I'm here to bridge the gap between the Living Royalty in the beginning and what they've evolved to be now. So that's keeping the theme, keeping the nostalgia of the brand of the show. With that, bringing in old models, and I know the new models now, I know all the new coordinators. So it's just really keeping up the theme of Living Royalty from the beginning to end. Of course, introducing new things, but also keeping up the brand.
Tell us about the Wimbish House, to be exact.
The Wimbish House, that was my favorite show. I don't know, the energy in there, some buildings just be different. You know, some places the energies go crazy, so this is one place. I don't know if it was the setup, maybe it was the people there or something, but that was my favorite show.
For me, yeah, I love the Wimbish House. Like, I think that, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it definitely was one of those where it's like, oh, we really have something. Like we, you know, year 1 and 2, we was getting our feet wet, but like year 3 was like, we here. Like we a staple in Atlanta. There's no show that's competing with us. That was just, it gave us that feel that like, oh, we are the show.
Who were some people that was there to be exactly?
Benegay Marco was there that show.
We had Cash from TK and Cash.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but Mulatto was she was in the crowd. So that's crazy.
What's your top memories of the history of Living Royalty?
My first show with Living Royalty, that was the second show. So that was my first time, well, I think that might have been my second time ever runway modeling in my life. It was in front of a total different crowd than the first one. The first one I was at school with my peers, but this one it was with the public. So I felt like Living Royalty really opened my eye to the modeling world and just seeing different people, meeting different artists, just knowing how big it can get.
The connection with y'all in DC, how did that become?
So with Fly Guy DC, we really just reached out to him, honestly. We was like, yo, like, we want to send you some merch. And like, he bit and he wore it. Like at that time, he was doing like a lot of festivals. He was doing a lot of concerts and things like that. So we just kept like sending him merch. And like at that time, he really he just loved the merch. So like he was hitting us up on days, even when we wasn't saying like, yo, what's next? And so, and that was huge because this is when we had like our baseball jerseys, our varsity jerseys. And one thing that I can say with Living Royalty was like, especially on the clothing side, we was just so different. You know what I'm saying? Like we was we was using different suppliers that a lot of people were using. I mean, that a lot of people weren't using at that time. So we had a step above. And with us being in that lane of like the artists and then DC making his mark in the city, like it was just, we was getting big. Clothes was selling out quick. And so, you know, he was definitely a benefit in keeping us in the culture of Atlanta. You know, like I said, like he did huge festivals, like concerts and things like that with Living Royalty brand on, you know, next to Migos and Jacquees and things like that. So that was just huge for us. And that's kind of how that connection transpired.
The first show I was part of was the 2023 show. That was my first like live hosting.
Okay.
So it was a little nerve-wracking, but you know, having people that you know around you makes the process way more comfortable. Preparation is key. Be on time, practice, and know what you're promoting. My issue was I did not come prepared. I wasn't really necessarily knowing what I was getting myself into. Now this being the third show in a row that I'm opening and hosting the red carpet at, that is like, it's just a breeze now.
I think it was the show where we first did it at City Hall. I felt like when we did that show, of course Living Royalty was already on the map, but I felt like they went up to a different caliber with it. Even with the marketing, the host, everything, it was just like, wow. I really saw the growth in Living Royalty then.
To get City Hall in Atlanta, you had to be somebody or somebody. Not everybody can just walk in and say, I want City Hall. So for y'all to have a fashion show, not one, but two at City Hall, what was that experience though? Like,
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I'm just gonna say this as a joke or whatever. We dropping free jewels. That was our least expensive show. Like City Hall is, you can get it. It's probably because it's government building. A lot of government buildings, they do things for the people, and I think a lot of people just don't know what to look for. And I think that's where our knack was in our shows, is that we look for the things that people don't generally look for. We look for buildings that may not be used or may not be, think that it's access to the public, and it is access to the public. And a lot of times it's very affordable. So, you know, we looked at it. I'm an addict when it comes to venues. And so like we was constantly looking at venues. We seen somebody did something at City Hall, and we was like, if they can do it, like we gotta at least try. And in doing research, we was able to book it. But that's why we ran it back again. Like it was literally one of our least expensive venues to book. So if anybody wants to do a fashion show at City Hall, use it, because it's very inexpensive.
you stated that you learned a lot since you've been in Living Royalty through all the roles you had and so forth. What's one thing that you think you probably learned the most from the brand itself?
You're gonna have your losses, but you're also gonna have your wins as well. And regardless of whatever happens, you still gotta keep pushing on and moving forward. And you still can come on top regardless of whatever happens in the back. And just for me as a person, I will say Living Royalty, it brought more confidence out in me. Just knowing that Will and Barry even believed in me to do any of these roles. I was always the type of person where I had a lot of talent, and I had a lot of information and advice and just coaching to give, but I always stood in the back. So they gave me the opportunity, and they saw that in me without me even seeing it in myself, to even be able to step to the forefront.
It's amazing. It's like a breath of fresh air, because, you know, sometimes people say elevation requires separation, but it just felt great that I got to stick by the people that's been friends with me since I moved to Atlanta. People are way more open into networking with each other out here as opposed to Harlem.
What, like, one thing that, for like community-wise, that stood out the most to you?
I don't know, that's a tough question. Maybe just when somebody hits you and say, oh, I seen somebody with your shirt on. You know, somebody just takes you a random picture and be like, oh, I'm at Georgia State and I seen somebody with your shirt on. I don't even know who they are. How y'all know them? You get what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that, or just knowing, like you say, Fly Guy DC, and then be like, okay, well, you know, yeah, that's the bro. Or Fly As Comedy, and be like, oh, yeah, that's the bro. Yeah, he wear the clothes. You get what I'm saying? It's like so many different people and different avenues who done did different stuff, or like DJ Showtime, he be on tour in other countries and be like, yeah, that's the bro. Skylife, like, yeah, that's the bro. And they be like, dang, how you know all these people? And it's like, through the clothes.
And it's crazy because it's the people that don't know you that'll support you, you know, a lot of times the most. I'm not gonna say the most because we've had supporters that know us and that have been there from the start, but it's people that'll just meet us and gravitate to the brand, and then now they long-term supporters. So, you know, it's been a blessing for sure.
Like, how does it all feel to you, like seeing all this, your vision? Because was this a part of your vision when you first started?
Yeah, it was, but I wasn't even necessarily more so on the events. Barry brought in the events, so it kind of worked hand in hand. You know, it's like a yin and yang, but it's cool. I mean, it got to a point where you start seeing it outside the money. You start seeing what you're doing and how it's like, you know, in the community and how it make a change. You know, just different than the money. Like you see, you know, like you say, your vision come to life. It's cool. It's really hard.